Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Flourish Hill Podcast. We are discussing the big rivalry game. We had two of our special guests who actually helped run the student section. Parker Mitchell, the leader of the Heart Crazies.
What's going on, guys?
And over here we have Ethan Cahoon, leader of the Mun Maniacs from South Lenoir.
Good to be here.
Is the excitement building up?
Very much so. Especially on Twitter. I've been hyping it up a lot, with the tweet that really got everything started. Everybody knows about that. But yeah, we're definitely ready, especially the team coming off the win against CBA Cock. Yep.
I think we can go ahead and just jump right into the tweet that you were mentioning. James, I'll kind of let you allude to everybody what we're talking about here.
Listen, first off, I did not think that video would actually get as many hits as it did. I took a look at it before we started recording. It's at 13,500 views. Of course, it was the video of the fracas that broke out between South Lenoir and Green Central that happened after the game. Now, there were suspensions handed out. I went to the Green Central at West Craven game yesterday. I saw that the North Lenoir student section retweeted that video and had a nice little caption that went with it. And I'm just looking like, one, who did that? Two, why can't I stop laughing? Three, South Lenoir fight back.
That's the thing. I mean, a lot of people from South Lenoir's point of view, and I'll let you talk about it, kind of took it in a negative way, and some people would agree, like you should, and just kind of take us through what the reaction was on y'all's side.
Yeah, when I first saw the tweet, I was shocked that he shared it or retweeted it, and then I kind of thought about something's got to start to stir the pot, but South Lenoir kids were not happy at all. Snapchat blew up with talking about how North Lenoir was disrespectful and they were trying to start drama, but you don't go into a big game like this peaceful.
A bunch of comments, retweets. I think I had a couple players, not
death threats.
No, death threats.
And this is one thing that I kind of want to talk about. People don't really appreciate, or people don't really think about how hard it is to run a student section. A lot of times people just say, "Oh, it's easy, just get out there on the side of the court and get everybody hyped up," and that's hard in itself. And then when it comes down to stuff like this, I know you and I kind of talked about it. You were telling me how there wasn't as much hype or energy going into this week like there's been in the past, and you were trying to think of a way that you wanted to kind of start up everything, and you took the risk of tweeting that.
And beforehand, like I said, nobody was talking about it. I just thought, like he said, it really just stirred the pot up a little bit, And look at it now, though. You got all the views, and everybody's going to the game now. So I think it turned out for the better, even though I got a little bit of hate. Put that aside, and it's pretty good.
I think it helped out with the hype of the game because, South Lenoir, we've been trying to, once that we tweeted the "We Will Rock You" GIF. Is that how you say it?
GIF, yeah.
We had
potato.
We did that, and ever since then, we've been posting pretty much daily, not necessarily against North Lenoir, but just about the game in general. A few against North Lenoir.
Yeah.
And of course, they've had the counterattacks, but that's the rivalry. So
I think it was my second year. I actually had a friend that came in. I went to go pick her up from Raleigh and brought her to the game, and I told her, "Listen, it is going to get crazy, I promise you." And first off, we could barely find a parking space, for one. And then when we made it out there was nearly a brawl that ensued out there too. And all I could do was just look at it because we're about 10 feet away from it. I was just like, told you.
Being a North Lenoir alumni, I went to school there for 4 years, experienced this rivalry firsthand. And I can tell you this, I've not seen it built up or the excitement for it like I've seen when I was there for 4 years. I have old classmates messaging me saying, wow, why wasn't it like this when we were in school there? Because I'm serious, that tweet started some controversy, but also, like we talked about, there was a positive to it, and it has created so much hype around this game.
I think what kind of brings that together is the student sections. Having the Hot Crazies and the Mun Maniacs together, because if you look at Kinston and Green Central, yes, they have passionate fan bases as well, but also, you're looking at a couple of teams that could very well be title contenders. While South Lenoir and North Lenoir aren't on that same level, the game is going to be very interesting in its own right.
I told Parker earlier, if every student that got mad at South Lenoir about the tweet shows up to the game, then that's going to be probably a record turnout for our student section because it's quite a few. And
despite the record, that they have, regardless, they still show up. It's still a good game. I remember last year, I think their team wasn't the best, but it was still a good game. It came down to the wire.
We have a question. All right, let's look at this.
Well, you know what? From an aesthetic standpoint, of course, for me, I get excited to go to any game because you never know what can happen. I mean, I've seen a little bit of everything in my 11 years covering games, so I'm excited for the game. But to be honest, I really want to see what the student sections are going to do, considering what's been going on Twitter as far as the exchanges. So I have to say I'm a little more excited for the student section, even though I am excited for the game.
Mackenzie Cannon, thank you so much for commenting on that. Parker, I'll let you take away with your answer.
Behind the scenes, there's been a lot going on, especially at North Lenoir. I don't know about South Lenoir, but even with all the Twitter stuff going on, we've definitely had a lot of people really showing support for the Hulk Crazies this past week, especially since we had so much hate.
I'd say the same for South Lenoir. I'd probably say the student section is going to be one of the most exciting things, especially knowing about the award. So I know the student section is going to be very exciting. We've had a lot of ideas floating around about how we can make this night better than any one before. So like them, we've had a lot of talking and support going on to make this student section the best one ever. So probably student section.
And the one thing that I can say, I was able to catch the two teams. They came together right outside of Bojangles on Monday, shook hands, and, there was never really any bad blood between the two teams. It was just a situation that just kind of escalated out of control. But, everybody's good. And, of course, like I said, there were suspensions that were handed out. I can't remember exactly what happened as far as on South Lenoir. I think an assistant coach or two got suspended for a game. One of the players got suspended for a couple of games. So
shout out to Tony Sears, by the way. He always provides us with North Lenoir insight whenever we're not there. We might have to
city manager.
We might have to get city manager Tony Sears put in work. We might have to give him a side job here at News News. And now it's time to get down to the game that everyone's been waiting for. It's not as prestigious as much games here in the Eastern Carolina Conference, but it's probably one of the oldest ones. A battle of the two sides of the river. First of all, we need to let the guests do it, and we're going to let Parker take it away since his Hawks are the visiting team.
I think we got it in the bag, really. It's gonna be a hyped up game.
Look at this guy. Yeah. First of all, the stats are impressive. Second off, in the bag, that's a bold statement there.
That's the thing about predictions. I mean, our boys pull tricks out of their sleeves all the time. I mean, especially with the Spirit tomorrow night, with having all the student section, especially South Lenoir's, and the crowd, and just knowing it's North Lenoir. And trust me, the head coach will be letting them know that this is basically the pride of the season is beating North Lenoir.
All right, BJ, it's on you. North Lenoir, South Lenoir.
BJ.
Nah, quit being a punk and come up with a prediction. North Lenoir, South Lenoir.
BJ, it's time for you to step out of your comfort zone and make a prediction here.
I'm actually leaning toward the Mun curse as far as North Lenoir goes. I mean, they've won 4 straight home games. I think South Lenoir can make it 5.
I feel like now I'm going to walk into the gym tomorrow, and South Lenoir fans are going to be applauding me, but I feel like the Hulk Crazy is going to be booing me when I walk in. Parker, Ethan, Jr., this has been great. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. This has been the 6th episode of the Flourish Hill Podcast, and be sure to join us right here tomorrow night on Facebook Live Audio for the News Game of the Week between the North Lenoir Hawks and the South Lenoir Blue Devils. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
4, South and North Blue Devils. To the 6.
Faster.